Hey, welcome back to Spector Creative, and it's a Lego video. I haven't done that many videos on Lego, but they're a really strong toy brand out there, and there's been a lot of hubbub in the toy industry lately about who's supporting growth. Is it action figure collectors, adult collectors? Well, some of these articles are using an odd definition of what a adult toy collector is, because according to NPD data, anyone who is 15 years, actually, I'm sorry, 12 years and older is their definition, is an adult collector. So, yeah, is this an adult collector here of Lego products? Not as much as this is. Now, let's start at the beginning. Lego has been a product line that has designed toys for adults for many, many decades. And by design product for adults, I mean the sets tend to be more complicated, harder to put together. It's a long stage between Duplo and the Imperial flagship of the Royal Navy. But we've seen over the last few years in particular, more and more sets that are designed to appeal to the interest of adults, not just to the technical, shall we say, know-how or durability, dexterity, that's the word I'm looking for, of one's fingers to put things like this together. Why did all this change? Well, it's actually a big part was because of COVID and the closure. So I've talked a lot of times about how I started this channel because of COVID and the shutdown, and I was looking for something to do. And I thought, hey, let's make videos explaining how the toy industry works, since I've actually got some experience doing that. We were all, for the most part, locked in our homes for a period of time, and we're desperately looking for things to do. In fact, I think one of my favorite things that someone ever did was this one.
Pizza slice. Anybody want some pizza?
So what does all this have to do with Lego? Well, if you're not making videos of yourself playing Pizza Puppet in your kitchen, a lot of people rediscovered Lego for the very first time, shall we say, or, the 100th time. And because of the lockdown with COVID and the ease of using Lego and the availability, a lot of people had buckets of it already sitting in their attic, garage, or playroom. Well, people started becoming, shall we say, extremely creative, more so than before. Lego is always viewed by its manufacturer and the toy industry as a art medium, meaning you can build anything you want out of Lego bricks, not blicks, B-R-I-C-K, bricks. They view Lego much like clay. And what COVID did is it kind of unlocked the full potential of Lego, because with so many of us in our homes looking for things to do, offering sets that were basically more complicated to put together, but also were reflective of what people were actually doing. For example, people in the art world started using Lego to create flat prints. Lego, realizing this, said, oh, there's money to be made here, and started issuing similar versions of official Lego sets, allowing you now not just to build objects, but to build paintings. The idea of doing the architecture series, something that had been launched at museum gift shops, specifically for the older Lego fan, well, took on new life as what was once a very simplistic building in a black box now became part of the expert line, where an entire building using thousands of Lego pieces could then be built, and the idea of an architecture series now became an entire Lego creator world. So a lot of this is specifically coming out of the use of Lego during COVID, because with more and more people just looking for things to do, reaching for what used to be a go-to licensed Lego concept, Lego is able to take these existing products and make changes to essentially open them up to a wider audience, but keep them aimed at that adult collector who had been kind of birthed from the COVID shutdown. The Lego Star Wars Death Star became the Lego Globe. Same basic concept. We also saw Lego issuing more and more just objects to build, and looking at their heritage, things like the Legoland City, which used to be very young skewing with easy to put together buildings. Well, their old school British bookstore, which was just, 3 walls and a roof, well, post-COVID, we're now looking at much more complicated buildings that require dexterity that really only adults have, which makes you wonder, well, why is Lego putting so much into this? And the reason being is that COVID spurred a larger movement of adults using Lego both as a plaything, but also to alleviate boredom. There's a sense of accomplishment and a sense of relief, a sense of control. And while we were all locked in our homes, whether it was for weeks, months, or those of us who chose to do it for years, Well, the ability to get a Lego set, not only is it time consuming and it's a use of all that pent up time and energy, but you wind up with something really cool at the end that gives you a sense of accomplishment and this feeling that you have actually contributed as opposed to just sitting there in your PJs all day long wondering when we were going to be allowed to go out to the movies again. All right. So, what in the world does all of this have to do with the press and the toy industry? And essentially, because of the overwhelming rediscovery of Lego during COVID, it directly resulted in Lego as a corporation issuing more and more sets that were going to not only appeal to adults due to themes, due to content, due to licensing, or just complicated dexterity issues. Well, this played directly into the birth of this sort of new generation of adult collectors who were purchasing Lego, but now, due to being locked away with COVID, had an even greater interest in building sets and building designs that were more complicated and that had more of a sense of relief and a more of a sense of accomplishment. You could even see that in the way they brought back their space program, which for years had been, put on hold due to Star Wars. And if you're wondering, well, how does this contribute to adults buying toys? It's pretty clear things like this just wouldn't exist. So yeah, if you're sitting around being incredibly bored while locked in your house, looking for a colorful playset that can be challenging, well, something that was once a child's plaything has now had its potential unlocked, and you can now spill out your box of Legos, and suddenly it's got an entirely new meaning. Which is why, with so many more adults discovering Lego during the COVID crisis, it should come as no surprise that what they've really been doing is uncovering Lego uses that have been around for decades with child play therapists. I'm lucky enough to be married to one of them. My wife is a LCSW child play therapist, and she uses Lego all the time with her patients. This is something that's been going on for decades with everything from speech therapists to movement, all sorts of cognitive recognition systems, as well as the dexterity of the blocks with their patented system. Well, I guess it's not patented anymore, but it used to be. It really does spur on a sense of learning and accomplishment, and it's been used to help children and adults through therapeutic needs for decades. So really what adults were doing when they were rediscovering Lego through COVID was essentially just leaning into what therapists were already doing, noting how Lego was a sense of relief, could bring a sense of control when otherwise we feel trapped and out of control, which is why we saw so many new adult Lego collectors pop up during COVID, which has now trickled down to the toy industry as a total, and in a way is unfairly skewing the demographic of toy buyer, according to NPD data, unfairly higher on the adult collector. Yes, there's always been adult Lego collectors out there. We've been doing this for decades, but the rediscovery of Lego through COVID has exponentially, shall we say, increased the number of adults playing with Lego out there, and not necessarily because they consider themselves adult Lego collectors, but simply just looking for some way to express themselves and enjoy when they were otherwise during, the time when there wasn't that much enjoyment. Everyone just wanted COVID to go away, and if playing with Legos offered a sense of accomplishment and relief, well, you could see why people turned to it so much during this, strange lockdown we had 2019 to 2021. And it's why you saw new sets, new IP that was licensed by Lego that was skewing much more to an older adult fan, because they created a new niche with COVID letting people rediscover this toy. So yes, we are absolutely seeing more adults buying toys for themselves, but to really understand this claim, you have to look at what they're buying. And the fact that a huge part of it is Lego explains a lot more about the therapeutic value of the product and less about trends in the industry. Let me know what you think. Are there other aspects you've seen of COVID that have brought out old toys and given them new life? Let me know in the comments below. I always appreciate any sharing, any reposting of these videos. It's the best way to support the channel. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.